If p and q are positive integers and 6p q to the fourth power and 12p squared q squared have a greatest common factor of 1050, then which of the following is a possible value for the sum of p and q? So sum means addition, so the goal for us is to find out what p and q are added up to. In order to do this, we need to find out the value of p and q. Also, we're told that the GCF of those two monomial expressions is going to be 1050. And don't be scared of monomials. I'm just talking about this and this. So somehow the greatest common factor of these two monomials is equal to 1050. So let's go ahead and see if we can write an expression to actually show that GCF. All right, so here's a strategy that you can go ahead and use in the future if you would like to for the GCF. Basically, you look at the coefficients and think of the biggest number that goes into both of these. I'm going to go with 6 here, so I'm going to put a 6 on the outside. If we go ahead and do that, 6 divided by 6 is going to be 1, so we're going to be left with pq to the fourth power. And then 12 divided by 6, we're going to be left with a coefficient of 2. This is going to be 2p squared q squared. So we didn't do anything with the variables yet. So we took care of the coefficients, and now we're going to go on to the variables. So both of these monomials have one p in common. So let's go ahead and pull out a p as a factor on the side. So if you divide this first monomial by p, you're just going to be left with q to the fourth power. And if you divide the second monomial by p, we're still going to have that coefficient of 2. We're going to have one p left here, and the q's are untouched. All right, so we took care of the coefficient as well as the p variable. Onto the q variable. This one has 4 q's, this one has 2 q's. So in common, we can say that both of these monomials have a factor of q to the second power, or 2 of these q's as factors, right? So if you pull out 2 of these q's, we're going to be left with 2 q's for this first monomial. Hopefully that makes sense. Q squared times q squared is q to the fourth power. And for the second monomial here, the 2 and the p are left alone. And we pulled out both of those q's, so there's no more q's in this monomial. At this point, these two monomials have nothing in common. And when that happens, you can just take the product of these common factors on the side, and that will equal our GCF. So as an integer, we know the GCF is 1050, but what is it as a monomial? As a monomial, it's going to be 6 times p times q to the second power. Let's go ahead and divide both sides of this equation by 6. And when you do that, you're going to get 175 is going to be equal to p times q to the second power. Using the prime factorization for 175, we can say that 175 is going to be 7 multiplied by 5 to the second power, which is going to be equal to p multiplied by q to the second power. Hopefully at this point you can see that p must equal 7 and q must be equal to 5. Now that we know the value of p and q, we can find the sum of these variables, which is just going to be 7 plus 5, which is going to equal 12. So let's go with answer choice C. If you got it right, or you at least found the video helpful, you can let me know by tapping that like button.